Luke, at that speed, will you be able to pull out in time?
Be just like Beggar's Canyon back home.
Luke Skywalker's race through Beggar's Canyon where he threads Stone Needle was first described in the opening chapter of the Star Wars radio drama. Some fans confuse this race with an earlier one from Star Wars number 17, which has much higher stakes. In that issue, Luke navigates Diablo Cut in the canyon to save the life of his best friend, Biggs Darklighter. We will take a look at both these important events in Luke's life. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe so I can continue to bring you more content like it. A Wind to Shake the Stars. The first chapter of the radio drama, titled A Wind to Shake the Stars, was released on March 2nd, 1981. It takes place a day before the opening scene of the movie. Luke is in the Tech Dome at the Lars homestead, tinkering with electronics and listening to a recruitment tape for the Imperial Space Academy. His friend Wendy is visiting the Lars homestead with his parents, and the pair head off to Tashi Station in the Lars Skyhopper. In the film, Luke is shown holding a model of this ship when C-3PO is bathing just prior to R2-D2 playing the recording of Princess Leia. The full-size Skyhopper can also be seen in the background of these scenes. Luke and Wendy meet up with Deke, Fixer, and Cammy at Tashi Station. Luke is teased about daydreaming about following Biggs Darklighter to the Academy, and it is clear with Biggs gone, Fixer has anointed himself the de facto leader of the group. Before they head out to Beggar's Canyon for a speed run, Fixer, tired of hearing about how great Biggs was, challenges Luke to a race through Beggar's Canyon. Luke accepts the challenge and Deke rides with Fixer while Wendy goes with Luke. At the start of the race, Wendy accidentally distracts Luke, allowing Fixer to take the early lead. Fixer taunts Luke, so Luke decides to take the path through Stone Needle to save 5 seconds, a dangerous maneuver known as threading the needle, which Biggs is notorious for successfully navigating. Luke succeeds, but the Skyhopper loses its stabilizer. Luke is able to keep the ship steady, and he wins the race. Wendy calls Luke crazy, and Luke wishes Biggs, his best friend, was there to see the race. Luke revisits the Stone Needle when he is sent to Tatooine to help free Han Solo. In Shadow of the Empire's number 3 from Dark Horse Comics, Luke is on the planet waiting for Boba Fett to bring Han to Jabba the Hutt when he finds himself pursued by Big Giz and his swoop bike gang. Luke enters Beggar's Canyon to lose this motley crew. He is successful in shaking off some of his pursuers and decides to thread the needle to lose the rest. After this maneuver, a timely appearance by Dash Rendar convinces the remaining members of the gang to give up the chase. A majority of Star Wars fans are familiar with the landmark known as Stone Needle in Beggar's Canyon since it is featured in these stories and also several video games. Less known is another dangerous path in the canyon known as Diablo Cut, which Luke is forced to navigate to save his best friend's life. Crucible.
That's impossible, even for a computer.
But it's not impossible. I used to bullseye womp rats in my T-16 back home. They're not much bigger than T-meters.
Star Wars number 17 is an overlooked gem in the original Marvel run. Titled Crucible, this story is framed with Luke Skywalker sitting in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon remembering an event from his time on Tatooine. Luke is out hunting womp rats with an energy rifle from his land speeder. After he retrieves the dead rat, he races off hoping the bounty will allow him to afford macro binoculars, not aware that he was being observed by Tusken Raiders. At home, Luke asks his uncle if he can say goodbye to Biggs at a farewell celebration being thrown by his friends, and Owen reluctantly agrees. During the conversation, Beru mentions Owen's brother leaving without saying goodbye. Today, we know this brother is Anakin Skywalker, but when this issue was published in 1978, this was a reference to Luke's father, Obi-Wan Kenobi's pupil, who was killed by Darth Vader. To convolute matters even more, in the Return of the Jedi novel, after Yoda dies, Obi-Wan tells Luke he took him to live with his brother Owen on Tatooine. So for a while, after The Return of the Jedi was released, fans would read this comic and think Owen is referring to Obi-Wan Kenobi himself. Crazy. The next day, Luke and his friends are flying Skyhoppers near the entrance to Beggar's Canyon. Biggs mentions this is the last get-together of the two shooting stars, a reference to a nickname for the pair that was first mentioned in Star Wars No. 5 prior to their leaving the hangar in X-Wing fighters on Yavin 4. When the race begins, Luke takes the lead and one by one other participants are forced to leave the canyon, leaving just Luke and Biggs battling for the win. Biggs overtakes Luke and brakes, forcing Luke to also abandon the canyon, giving the win to Biggs. Afterwards, Deke and Cammy are congratulating Biggs when a land speeder appears and crashes. Aboard is a militia scout that warns the teens that Tusken Raiders are coming. It turns out some gun smugglers accidentally poisoned one of their wells, and now the Sand People are armed and angry. The Tuskens arrive and begin shooting at the teens. Wendy tries calling for help, but is unsuccessful. Luke and Biggs sprint toward a skyhopper, but a Tusken Raider appears and stabs Biggs with his poisoned Gatterfee stick. Luke helps Biggs to the skyhopper and the two take off. Biggs tells Luke he needs to fly through Diablo Cut, an extremely treacherous portion of Beggar's Canyon, so they can save time. Luke is desperate to get Biggs medical attention and warn the farmsteads near Anchorhead about the approaching Tusken Raiders, so he takes Biggs' advice and enters Diablo Cut. Biggs is delirious from the poison, and Luke is able to navigate the hairpin turns of the canyon. Emerging from the end of the path, the Skyhopper is hit by a Tusken Raider scout party, but Luke is able to crash the ship near the Lars homestead. You have to believe the Sand People taking pot shots at pod racers in Episode 1 came from this story. Uncle Owen races toward the pair, and Luke tells him about the Tusken Raiders. Conclusion. Unfortunately, Luke's interaction with his friends on Tatooine were left on the cutting room floor, although those scenes make it into the novel and comic book adaptations. These stories about Beggar's Canyon expand on those cutscenes, and you have to appreciate that they feature the same characters. In the film, Luke yearns to leave Tatooine to follow his best friend Biggs to the Imperial Academy, and this is reinforced in both the radio drama and the comic story. Probably the biggest contribution both tales have to the mythos is they establish that Luke Skywalker is already a capable pilot before he joins the rebellion at the Battle of Yavin. The entire radio drama is well worth the listen, and the first chapter does a great job showing that Luke has aspirations beyond being a moisture farmer and has the talent to match his desires. But I feel the story told in the comic book is stronger. Many aspects of Luke's character are displayed, including his heroism, his loyalty to his best friend, along with his determination to please his gruff uncle. I also like that we get to revisit some of the inhabitants of Tatooine, including Tusken Raiders and Jawas. Additionally, a new element is introduced with the militia scout. It makes sense the local farmers around Anchorhead would pool resources and either volunteer for or employ scouts to keep a watch on the nomadic Tusken Raiders and other dangerous wildlife. Many issues of the original Star Wars title receive attention for various reasons, but I feel Star Wars number 17 deserves to be recognized as well. It is the first story that takes us back to Tatooine and does a good job of fleshing out aspects of that planet hinted at in the film. More importantly, it provides a glimpse into an important event in Luke's life that helps shape this character into the hero he becomes. Thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe so I can bring you more content, and please leave a comment below.